going on YouTube? I'm the Charmawot, your coach for the Newcastle Ninjasks in the CBL League. And today, you guys, I am bringing you our draft analysis for this brand new league. I am a little bit late with this video, so I do apologize for that. I've had a really hectic week. I'm about, I don't know, like 5 days too late. But it's getting up, so that's the important thing. But, as I said, we're here for our draft analysis. A lot of you guys, if you're just viewing my channel, you probably wouldn't have heard about this league yet, and for good reason, because I haven't really talked about it in any videos. I've talked about it a little bit on Twitter, but I haven't really addressed it at all. But basically, you guys, I'm in a new league. Yay! for the first time in about 8 months, I'm in a league, and I'm very excited about it. I am once again the Newcastle Ninjasks. And there's a bunch of really cool people in this league. I'm going to link all their channels down below because they're all great guys. I'll also link the Twitter of the league, the official league's Twitter page, and you guys can go follow that for whatever they decide to put on the Twitter account. I'm not too sure, but yeah, what am I even talking about? Okay, so we're up a little bit late. I am actually meant to be uploading my battle right now, my week 1 battle, which I have done as of recording this. I've recorded them out of order, but I'm going to be uploading it tomorrow, so a touch late, but all my other uploads will be on time, I promise. And normally I'll have a team building video for each battle, but I just haven't had time this week. But I do plan to be more organised in the future. So they are meant to go up Fridays if you're Friday nights if you're in America, Saturdays if you're in Australia, Saturday during the day. I've got a little list of all the things I need to address here. So, the draft itself, I actually had a lot of help with my draft from Nix, my good old chum. He's my co-coach, my assistant coach, for the league. And he's a great guy. He's given me a lot of help because I'm very inexperienced when it comes to leagues. But we managed to spend a lot of time putting together a really nice draft. And it came out quite well, and he was very involved in a lot of the decisions that had to be made on the spur at the moment, because I was at school. I was at school while the drafting was going on, so he had to help make a lot of the decisions for me. But it's done in the GBA format, so it's tier 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you get 1 pick from tier 1 to 4 and 5. You get 2 picks from tier 3, and then you have 4 picks that you spend points on. They're called your free picks. You can pick them from whatever tier you like. You have to pick 4 Pokemon, and you get 400 points to spend. But, through the choice of what tier your Mega is in, you can then gain extra points to spend. So, we kind of based our team around the Mega that we wanted to choose, which was Mega Beedrill. We really wanted Mega Beedrill. Spoiler alert, guys, we got Mega Beedrill. But we were also prepared to use Mega Aggron, or if it came to it, Mega Glalie, because we did not want to draft Mega Beedrill first. We didn't want to waste our first pick on Mega Beedrill. We weren't in a great position in the ladder. It was like a snaking system, so it went back and forth. But I was like 4th from the end on the first run or something, so it wasn't a great position to be in. But we got most of the picks we wanted anyway, somehow, but it was pretty good. So I'm going to read through these in the order that we picked them in, and I'll explain each one to you, hopefully very briefly. So let me check how long. Oops, we don't get Mega Diancie. I haven't rambled for too long, which is great. Rambling's not a good thing. Okay, so the first Pokemon that we chose, based on the assumption that we were going to get Mega Beedrill, was actually Slowbro. Now, Slowbro is a good Pokemon, and I work very well with bulky water types. I do like playing bulky water types, especially Milotic. We were tossing up between Milotic and Slowbro. I mean, Nix wasn't really tossing up between Milotic and Slowbro. I kind of suggested Milotic. But we decided on Slowbro just because he covers that psychic weakness for Mega Beedrill. And he can do a few more things than Milotic wants to. Milotic is beautiful in its own way, but Slowbro is just that little bit better for this particular team. It can be run in a lot of nice different ways. Obviously, it's extremely bulky, as you can see down here. With some nice defense, nice special defense, and a beautiful speed stat, might I add. But we don't want it for the speed stat. It's also quite possibly the best Scald user in the league format, which is definitely saying something. Not a classic round 1 pick. It's a tier 2 mon. Yeah, not something that normally see round 1, but we thought it is the most essential Pokemon that we need to have for our team to work, so that's what we went with. As I said, he gets Scald, he gets Regenerator as his ability. He's just an all-round nice mon to have, and a great switch in to a lot of Pokemon. So we're all good there. Our next pick, which I was really happy that we were able to pick up, was Garchomp. Now, Garchomp. We discussed this. We didn't have to discuss it for very long, but I've decided I'm gonna have a lot of fun with Garchomp. I'm gonna have a hell of a lot of fun with Garchomp because he's going to shred. He's gonna shred things up. Garchomp is such a nice, powerful mon. It's a powerful presence on the battlefield, and once again, it can be run. It's very versatile. It can be run in a lot of different ways. We can run it as a lead with Stealth Rocks and whatnot. We can run it as just like an all-out. We can all-out attacker. We can Choice Band it. We can run it as a mixed attacker. We can do so many things with this, and it's absolutely mental. If we've got someone who we think wants to set up Sandstorm, we can even run Sand Veil on this thing, which we actually might have done week 1. But that's just, it's a great mon to have on the team, and a nice reassuring thing to have. Obviously, it brings with it the quad ice weakness, but we've got things that can deal with ice types, let me tell you that right now. And apart from that, a great earthquake user, and just an all-round cool guy to have on the team, I don't speak with a lot of strategy. In case you haven't noticed already, I don't speak with a hell of a lot of strategy, so if you're being bored by me saying, That's a pretty cool Pokemon. Yeah, that's a pretty cool Pokemon. That's pretty much what this video is going to be. But as well, Garchomp is a Pokemon that I've used quite a bit before, so I do have some experience with it, which is always nice in this kind of situation. The next mon that we picked was Arcanine, if I can type. Far out. I tapped the caps lock when I went Arcanine. There we go. So we picked Arcanine. It was another mon that I've used a lot, and just a really solid Pokemon to have. A great defensive presence if we need him to be. He can also be quite a nice attacking presence, but generally we'll probably be using him as a defensive variant. But if you're one of my opponents, expect the unexpected. But Arcanine, obviously, Extreme Speed is really nice to have. Intimidate, Will-O-Wisp. All those great moves that come with Arcanine. Close combat. Once again, Extreme Speed is just really, really good to have. We've got a nice EV spread. EVs? There's no EVs on this thing. A nice spread of stats. Arcanine is a pretty well-rounded Pokemon in general. A Fire type is always nice to have as well. And just it's pretty solid. We've also got some cool nicknames for it, which always tends to help. He also just kind of backs up the other two Pokemon that we've already drafted quite nicely. So not much else to say on Arcanine, just that, he's a pretty solid addition to the team. Now, we finally decided, you know what? It might be time. It might be time to draft Mega Flipping Beedrill. And by God, am I happy that we got this thing. It's easy for me to say that, yeah, I work well with Garchomp. Yeah, I work well with Arcanine. If you know me at all, if you've watched any of my UU battles on my channel, you know that I flipping love. Words cannot describe how much I love Mega Beedrill. Mega Beedrill is probably at this point my absolute favorite Mega. Hands down, and I just really like Mega Beedrill. He's not especially diverse, which is good and bad. But you look at his attack, you look at his speed, and you just know he's gonna shred stuff up. You just know he's gonna destroy anything that comes out onto the playing field. And I love using Mega Beedrill. When you can set him up properly, I've got a lot of experience using him. When you can set him up properly, God save the opponents. God save the opponents. Obviously, adaptability is an amazing ability. And to name most of his essential moves, U-turn, there's poison jab, U-turn, poison jab, knock off, drill run. Obviously we're going to be running protect to be able to actually get our Mega Evolution going. We've also got X Scissor if we want a little bit of extra power from our bug type. That's essentially Mega Beedrill in a nutshell. But he's a brilliant Pokemon to have on the team. Perhaps not as strategic as some of the other Megas that got picked. I can see that, fair enough. But I'm happy that we've got him just as some brute force on the field. I mean, we kind of had that in Garchomp, but you know, it's always nice to have a little bit extra. So following that, right, we kind of thought, okay, I can see what's going on here. But what if we got a nice powerful special attacker? What if we got a nice powerful special attacker that can cover our backs for us, and can also be kind of especially bulky if we need it? So Nix was like, yo, Charma, you wanna spend some points? And I was like, yeah, sure, man. What do you got in mind? And he looked me right in the eye. He looked me right in the eye. I don't know how he looked me right in the eye because we were texting, but he looked me right in the eye and he said, Raikou. And I was like, hell yeah. So, Raikou is a Pokemon that I definitely love. Obviously, you got the Calm Mind Substitute set, which is really nice. You can also run him with Assault Vest, which I feel like we'll possibly be doing at some stage over this league. It's a solid one to have. Also, very fast. I think it's, excluding Mega Beedrill. I'm just looking at our team now. Excluding Mega Beedrill, I'm pretty sure it's the fastest one we drafted. Which is nice. Obviously, he's got some nice stab electric type moves. Thunderbolt, Discharge, Volt Switch, just to name a few. He does get extreme speed. I didn't even know that. You know, if we really want some extra priority. Calm Mind, as I said. Aura Sphere, he gets extra sensory. He just gets some really nice moves that we can definitely use to our advantage. Shadow Ball if we need it. Just a nice mon to have. Most of these mons are nice mons to have, but they do work together quite well. At this stage, we're kind of looking at a bit of a ground weakness, which isn't nice to have because Earthquake is so prevalent. So we did think we would go for a grass type. Obviously, we have Slowbro already, so we're safe. But it's always nice to have a little bit extra when you're dealing with two people that drafted both forms of Landorus. It's nice to have a little bit of variety in your switch-ins. Not that I'd really bring this mon in against Landorus, but that's neither here nor there. We drafted the one and only Trevenant from Tier 3. So, Trevenant's not something I have a lot of experience with. But, we were going to go for Whimsicott, which is something I do know a little bit better. But, a certain Canadian drafted that before I got the chance. But we went with Trevenant instead. He does add to our dark type weakness. He actually created the double dark type weakness that we have already. And then, you know, we've got the ghost type weakness going on as well now. But we're alright there. We cover that later. Obviously, we have our harvest ability, which is going to be very, very useful for, you know, just stalling things. I can't really explain Trevenant that well because I don't use him very often. But he's got some fair bulk and a nice attack stat to round it off. And then, you know, you got all your Trevenant moves, which you run on Trevenants, Will-O-Wisp and the like. Leech Seed, Will-O-Wisp, Leech Seed, Horn Leech, all your solid moves to just set up and be a bit of a pain. And speaking of being a bit of a pain, the next Pokemon that we drafted to cover that Dark type weakness and Ghost type weakness was Umbreon. Now, if a few people have unsubbed at this point, you know, fair enough. I'm not a massive fan of Umbreon myself, but when there is the need, when I see the need, Umbreon can cover it. to protect the Newcastle Ninjasks, I think it is justified that we picked up Umbreon. Obviously, you know what Umbreon does at this point. Umbreon sets up, doesn't even need to set up, it's just a pain. It just acts like a complete pain for anyone else on the other side of the team. On the other side of the field. Obviously, special defense is beautiful, defense is nice as well. And you know, you can wish, protect, stall, protect, toxic, stall. You can go for your life. You can curse even if you curse. Is it curse? I don't know if curse is a thing. But you know, you can do a fair amount with Umbreon, and that's a nice, solid bond to have. And a great switch in, kind of like Slowbro, a great safe switch in to a lot of things. Pretty much anything special. If you got a bit of special defense investment, you can switch in Umbreon on it. So that's a nice thing to have for the Newcastle Ninjasks. A pretty solid mon. So the next thing we wanted a bit more brute strength, and a touch of diversity as well. So we went for Lucario. I'm pretty sure we spent points on this. Yes, we did. We spent some points to get Lucario. And I'm pretty sure it was well worth it, because Lucario is a nice mon to have. You'll probably be noticing a few similarities from my CBL U team. Actually, no, this is the first similarity from my CBL U team. I thought there was more. Don't worry about it, guys. It's all good. But, yeah, we went for Lucario. This was another kind of spur-of-the-moment one. But it was, I felt like it was justified. Speaking of which, he gets justified as an ability if we want to go for that. Lucario though is a nice presence to have, because it threatens a lot of Pokemon just because of how diverse it is. It can be run in a physical attacking or special attacking way, and it's just it's gonna be a pretty solid. I hate how often I'm saying this, but it's gonna be a pretty nice mon to have. We can set up with it if we wish. We don't have an awful lot of mons that can set up. At the moment, we're only looking at Raikou and Lucario for what I've shown so far. But nonetheless, Lucario is a nice addition to the team. Can deal with the fairy types if he wants to. He gets Bullet Punch and you know, all that good stuff. Blaze Kick if we want to run that. Close Combat. Also on the special side of things, also Extreme Speed. We've got another Extreme Speeder. So wait, he does get Extreme Speed, right? I'm not going mental. Yeah. I didn't know what I was thinking then for a sec. Yeah, obviously that's our third potential Extreme Speeder on the team, which is good to have. I keep looking over here, by the way, guys. I've got like a list of things. But yeah, Lucario is pretty G to have. Dragon Pulse, obviously, as well, is a nice addition. Another Earthquaker. You know, Focus Blast if we want to run special. All that good stuff. Lucario's packing it, guys. Lucario is packing the goods. The next mon we went with is actually another fighting type. We were going to save this till the end. The draft actually occurred over a couple of days. So, you know, at this point, it was the day before the end of the draft, and we had 3 mons left to draft. And we spent a lot of time figuring this one out. It's the last one we chose to draft, but the third last mon that we drafted. And we couldn't really find anything that wanted to fit in with what we had in mind. But we eventually settled on Gallade. Now, Gallade isn't necessarily, it's not necessarily necessary. If you catch my drift, we don't need Gallade with everything else we've got, but it's a nice thing to have. It's a nice thing to have on the team, and once again, just like Lucario, very threatening to a lot of different Pokemon. Gallade, a lot of people don't realize, actually has some really nice special defense. If we run on an Assault Vest variant, we can. If we run on a Scarf variant, we can do that if we want to. Banded. Setup with Sword Stance is always nice on Gallade. I have used Gallade quite a bit as well, which is one of the reasons we went for it. Hold up, am I in frame? I am in frame. We get Close Combat once again. We get Psycho Cut is a really nice move to run on Gallade for some nice Psychic type stab. And obviously Drain Punch as well. Sword Stance Drain Punch. That's something to be reckoned with. So Gallade's a nice thing to have. Okay, if I say a nice thing to have again, pick me up on it, guys. But it also added to our ghost type weakness, which is currently consisting of Slowbro, Trevenant, and Gallade. Which isn't great. It's only 3 bonds, but it's not amazing. So what we went for, we didn't actually pick this mod to cover the ghost type weakness, but now that I think about it, you know, this is potential switch into ghost types. Braviary is our next pick. And this one, we knew we wanted a flying type because ground types also are a bit of a pain for us at the moment. They're hitting Arcanine, they're hitting Beedrill, they're hitting Raikou, and they're hitting Lucario. So ground types definitely dish out the damage to our team, but we have... I got something on my screen. But we have Slowbro and Trevenant, which is a solid counters to most of those things. But you know, Braviary can he can obviously take an Earthquake because it's not gonna touch him, guys. It's not gonna touch him. Braviary as well, another mod that I haven't used an awful lot. You know, it's got some relatively alright abilities, which is nice. You know, if we've got something that we know is an Intimidator, it's always a pretty sick play to bring in Braviary because of Defiant. Always nice. And you know, fairly well-rounded stats. We're only really going to be able to run him as a physical attacker, but his speed's pretty nice as well. I don't know why I've got an Assault Vest selected, probably because I was just clicking around on the screen. And also some nice, you know, general flying type attacks. He's a fairly standard flying type when you think about it. If we want to run Bulk Up, we can set up with him. But he doesn't. You know, he's kind of like an alternative to Staraptor, really, when you think about it. Which is fine because he's a nice thing to have. I said it again, a nice thing to have. But he rounds up the team fairly well. And the final one we drafted was once again a bit of a spur of the moment thing because we had 3 picks. We had 3 picks that we wanted our last one to be, and all of them got taken on the last day, which was pretty crazy. But we ended up with Malamar. You know, there's a bit of a fun story behind that. I was actually in class at the time, and I see my Discord just pops up this little message, and I was just like, I was looking over my shoulder, I was like, bruh. Oops. The token Charmawot family interruptions. But essentially, yeah, I was in class, and I just see this little notification. I was like to my mate, I was like, Tom, you need to cover me. You need to cover me. I'm going onto Discord. And I checked up on the messages, and Nix was like, bruh, we're doomed. And we bantered a little bit, and then decided on Malamar as our final pick. Malamar is it's a pretty powerful thing to have. Its stats don't make it look like it too much, but obviously Contrary is a brilliant ability. You know, we can run Suction Cups as well, but I feel like Contrary will generally be run. It can be hard to set up because you know you've got to be able to take hits at the same time, and its speed isn't desirable. But at the end of the day, it does its job well. It superpowers, it gets bulky, and it destroys. So that is pretty much Malamar at the end of the day. Not a lot to say about it, but that's the way it goes with Malamar. So all in all, a pretty solid draft, I've got to say. I'm very happy with how it turned out. The last couple of picks, some of them maybe could have gone a little bit better, or a little bit differently for the team that we built. But all in all, I'm happy with it. Nix is happy with it. Nix is going to be helping me build teams as well, using his experience. But you know, it's gone pretty well. So if you guys have any suggestions for sets or anything, I'm happy to hear those. Because you know, I'm keen. I'm keen to learn. But our first battle for the league is against Raikou, coach of the Nidoqueen's Park Rangers, I think. And that battle will go up tomorrow or today, depending on, you know, when you're watching this video. But it'll go up quite shortly after this video, a few hours. But it should be up shortly, and that's a nice battle for you guys to look forward to. I had a lot of fun in that battle, regardless of what the outcome was. And yeah, I hope you guys are all pumped to support the Newcastle Ninjasks, because you know we're gonna take this league by storm. I just know it. I'm excited, guys. But if you guys enjoyed this video, please do not forget to leave a like and a comment down below, because all of your support is appreciated more than you know. I really do appreciate all the likes and support I get on these videos, guys. And until next time, I'm the Charmawot, and I'll see you then. Bye!